The sudden appearance of 3 large, modern, and closed-off ferry boats in Istanbul's waters has infuriated Istanbul residents, many of whom conceive of the ferry ride as a last refuge of comfort and enjoyment in a city increasingly dominated by gridlock, construction cranes and incessantly heavy crowds. The ferries were introduced in an opening ceremony by Istanbul Mayor Kadir Topbaş, who donned a sea captain's hat late last month and went into service on the popular Eminönü-Kadıköy line, between the bustling Old City Port and popular Asian Side District. The new vessels boast better access for disabled passengers, higher speeds, and a capacity of up to 700 passengers. The 3 ferries collectively came at a price tag of €13.5 million. However, their presence has enraged many Istanbul residents, who view the 20-minute trip not as a mere mode of transit but a temporary respite from the hustle and bustle of life in a metropolis inhabited by some 15 million people. Istanbul ferries are an iconic spot to sip small glasses of black tea, enjoy a panoramic view considered to be unparalleled, and toss pieces of bread to the flocks of seagulls that faithfully follow the ferries on their journey. The new ferries lack windows that can be opened, as well as the long rows of benches flanking the port and starboard of the classic Istanbul ferries operate by the municipal-run Sayur Hadlar firm. Also missing are the spacious, shaded outdoor areas found on the stern and hull sides of the classic ferries. While the new vessels offer outdoor seating, it is considerably less than that found on their predecessors. When photographs of the new ferries floating in Istanbul's Golden Horn surfaced on social media, Istanbulites quickly reacted with outrage, as no one had been informed of the change and the city municipality had not consulted with residents prior to ordering the new vessels, which were designed by Turkish engineers. The ferry is the face of Istanbul. If it must be renewed, it should be done in accordance with its classic appearance, not like this monstrosity of a box, tweeted columnist and writer, Hector Vartanyan on Wednesday. What an ugly ferry for my beautiful city. Oh beautiful Istanbul, lamented Confederation of Revolutionary Workers Unions, DSK, General Secretary Arzu Erkzalu over Twitter. New ferries of Istanbul. No windows. No seagulls. No sipping tea as the wind blows. What's the point then? Tweeted Reuters journalist Hümera Pamuk on Tuesday. I am pretty outraged actually. The designer of this ferry must have absolutely no idea what makes living in Istanbul worthwhile, said Pamuk in a subsequent tweet. Other criticism circled throughout Twitter, as users mentioned how cities like London preserve subway signs, mailboxes, and double-decker buses as images of the city's heritage, and how a change in the design these beloved corner posts of the city would be out of the question. In recent years, the ruling Justice and Development Party, AK Party, via local municipality decisions or due to the direct wishes of President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, a variety of similarly controversial decisions have been made without public consultation, attracting the ire of Istanbul residents as important elements of their city are being toyed with. The 2013 Gezi Park protests erupted following Erdogan's highly disputed decision to build a shopping mall complex in the form of an Ottoman-era barracks directly on top of Istanbul's centrally located Gezi Park. Shortly after the protests broke out, bulldozers dumped piles of rubble over the Yetikule Gardens in the city's Feta district in preparation for an ambiguous urban project. Activists were outraged as these urban gardens, nestled on the inside and outside of the old city walls, had been farmed for hundreds of years. Although the project was halted by Topbaş last year, the dirt piles still have not been removed, thus preventing large sections of the gardens from being revived. Last year, municipal trucks collected public benches around the perimeter of the historic Galata Tower, and replaced them with a portable tea house operated by the city-run company Belter. Citizens were irked by the fact that authorities had removed public seating and installed an unsightly, for-profit cafe immediately below one of the city's most prized treasures. It has been suggested that the move was an attempt to cleanse the area as a public hangout spot, as it was known as a spot where young people would come drink beer on warm summer evenings. Meanwhile, iconic businesses have been forced to close down or move as shopping malls, hotels, and chain stores encroach upon local shopkeeper culture. In recent years the famous Patisserie was evicted from the location it had operated from for more than half a century, while the famous MX Cinema, located adjacent in the historic Circle d'Orient building, was demolished despite major opposition from cinema lovers and prominent actors and directors alike. Police brutally dispersed a protest staged against the demolition in 2013. It is rumored that the Circle d'Orient will be transformed into a mall. Other occurrences of crass development threaten to further erode the city's remaining charm and historic aura. A giant public assembly area was built over the Marmara Sea adjacent to the Yenikap corridor last year, and has been mostly used as the center for massive rallies held by President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, or the AK Party. The construction of the 16:9 residential towers just past Yenikap in Istanbul's Zeytinburnu resulted in a stark image that many residents have described as destruction of the Istanbul historic peninsula's panoramic view. The towers creep above famous historic sites such as the Hagia Sophia and Topkapı Palace. Although a court ordered for the offending floors to be leveled, the decision has not been enforced.